Hey Converge collectors, today we're going to go over Gundam's Converge 191, the Gouf, and 267, the Gyan. I'm probably not pronouncing those names correctly. We're going to start with here, number 191 was in pound 12, that wave. It came on 2018. The chassis of this is MS-07B. Here are the other figures from this wave. I'm going to try to get those. And then here's some basic stats. I'm not going to open this box because I'm a moron and I bought the same exact thing locally, already used. So I might as well, I guess I'll just sell that other one since it's brand new. But inside that box would have been all these parts just separated in a bag. Alright. Okay, so coming from the Pound Wave series, it has the peg stand. We got next hand here. Very cool. Alright. There's a whole extra arm even. Let's go fandom here. And it's a mass-produced close quarters combat suit, and it was featured in the very first Mobile Suit Gundam show. Down here, what I find interesting is it has 5-barrel machine guns in its left hand and a heat rod which looks like a whip to me, which can be slicing or grappling with an electric shock. And then it competed against the Dom, which essentially won out because this was too expensive, I guess. So I'm going to close this out. There's that heat rod coming out of the forearm here. And then it's shooting the machine guns out of its hand there, and then it has like a sword as well. Alright, let's get into the figure then. So it's matte finish blue, and it's like I guess a lighter blue here, but a darker blue in the middle, like blue, light blue, and then some black, there's some orange arrows here. I like that there are hoses coming from the front and wrapping around to the backpack, which is gray, and then on the head there's a central thing with hoses leading to this like respirator, and then you have the monoi in pink, and it's like bulging out a little bit. It's pink metallic. Let's see. You'll see there's a hex hole and a peg on the head. I think this comes off, so you can move the monoi around. Let's see if I can. I think the paint might be stuck. Get a toothpick under there. Yeah, so that will eventually come loose. So that's cool that you can, move that left and right. Pop the head back on. Alright, so that's neat. So there's a little antenna which is going to get lost. So if you buy this, I really recommend you glue this antenna in place. Right. So not much under the neck area, so we might as well just put that's a nice long peg. I like that peg being that long. So the arms have the peg on the shoulder. You got these horns or whatnot, spikes on the shoulder. This is all molded together for the forearm, but the hand is a separate piece. If I could break the paint loose. Come on. There we go. So yeah, it's got the 5 machine guns, I guess. And the actual hand. It's pretty funny. You could put some black paint in there easily because they're quite recessed. So pop that back on. This side, yeah, you can see the better detail, the hose running there. Some details on the side of the leg. And you'll see this one has the, I would call it a whip. It looks like a whip to me. And it's painted gray. Okay, so electrocution rod. See, that antenna fell out. Alright, anyways, the peg hole at the bottom of the feet look nice. A bunch of little divots and grooves all over the place. So not bad. Now, the optional arm, let's see. This looks like it's for this side. So let's remove the whip one. Put this in here. And then you have a hand already attached to the sword, and the sword is a metallic orange. That's pretty neat. I haven't seen that color before. It's a little curved. can dip it in hot water and try to straighten it out pretty easily. I like that there's a hole there. That's so fine. I'm surprised they did that. It's so thin. Okay. So there it is with the sword. Not bad. I think I like the whip more myself. What is going on here now? Oh, I see. In the forearm on this side, there's a recess for this, the shield. So let's pop that in. The shield literally has a hole going through it. Yeah, but that's it, I guess. Does it spin on this black thing? No, I think the black thing is glued in place. Oh, no, I'm mistaken. So hold on. See how it's open there? I'm going to flip the shield backwards and let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it can cover up a lot of the arm or a little bit of the arm. Expose that hand a little bit better. What's also nice is this hand just open. If you don't want the machine gun hand, you just have a kind of an open wavy hand. Hey, what's up? Okay. But for me, I definitely like the goofiness of the machine gun hand. I do feel this might want to get glued in place too. It's quite loose. Maybe it's because this is a used one. Okay, it's nice that that can rotate. But yeah, again, this horn fell out. Okay, well there it is. It's nice it came with these options. In fact, I am going to already swap this over here. Cool. Cool, cool. And you could put, I'm not going to bother putting it on a stand. Let me reset. Alright, next we have number 267, pretty recent. Came out in 2022. It is from the 10th anniversary selection Pound 01. I think they have a 10th anniversary selection 03 out already now. Alright, so what else was in this wave? Those guys. There you go. And then we have some specs on this thing. I've actually spoken about this robot before because I have the old casting of this. I'm going to chew on that gum later since it's not too old. But I will talk about this in case you don't see the other video. It may have been... Alright, so the Gyan is from the original cartoon as well. And it is a close quarters combat robot here. Eventually it lost out to the Gelgoog, I guess, for its lower versatility. And it has 60 needle missiles in its shield and I guess 25 hide bombs, which I don't understand what those would be, but anyways, let's go here. Come on. Come on. Okay, I think that's everything. Alright, let's start with the torso. So this is all matte finish. It's like a medium to dark blue and a really light blue out here. I kind of feel like it's got a hint of purple in it. This is kind of obnoxious. This peg here for the shield just sticking out. And the peg, I think, should be in the shield and then the hole should be on this side. In case you want to display it without that. Let me break the paint loose on these arms. Okay. So there are hexagonal holes in the shoulders there. And I'm wondering if this hand is a separate piece. I think it is. I'm going to break that loose. There's a gunmetal. Nice little hex hole in there as well. Okay, so that's cool. But it's not open-handed. It's just a fist. Alright, so bottom of the feet. Yeah, it's got the peg hole. Decent enough details there. It's got some blue kneecaps. Nicely done. Yeah, the paint on this is really well done. It's good separation, or just the way they designed it. And then the little jetpack back here has got some fine details up in there. It's painted a gray, some ribs there. The neck piece is a gunmetal, just like the hand. Does it pivot? It almost looks like it should pivot. That would have been cool, but it does not. Okay, well, look at the shield. We got the missiles there. Unfortunately, there's a big weird casting error ridge or something. It looks like a bubble, but in this form of a line. And then nice details around here. This is all gray, looks nice. So it's nice as a hex hole, so it's less friction. You can get it off hopefully easier in the future, although that's a really tight fit. Okay, now this side here we have this cool little beam saber here. It's all clear. And then the hand is just part of it, painted gunmetal. Alright, so you can hold it vertically, or obviously move the arm a little bit horizontally. And the last thing is the cool head. Ooh, boy, that is really thin. It feels kind of rigid too. I'd be afraid of that breaking off. At least right now it's straight, it's not crooked. So we have a pink metallic paint there for the mono eye, and you have all these track groove details, because this eye, I think, is supposed to go around these grooves. Although this has a wall right there. Okay, anyways, a hex hole there, so it looks pretty good. And there we go. You're not going to get much articulation on the head because it's colliding with the shoulders, it seems. Oh, I'm mistaken. Maybe if you lift it, well, if you lift it up, it'll rotate, but it looks a little weird, right? I think it just kind of wants to look forward all the time. Let me get some other figures here. So I just had to bring out the original Gyan. This is number 26 in the overall Converge lineup. So let's see what changes have occurred after a few hundred Converges. It's clearly different. I did detail this, so all these black pieces, I mean, paint apps weren't there before. I used a black paint wash. I also added a crystal eye to the thing. Alright, I also added red to the shield as well. So we just gotta try to look at the mold. So shield wise, the original one's quite small and it has a much darker color tone to it than this one. It's also a glossier paint. This is very matte finish, all of this. You can also see the side of the head is quite different. This one's more pointy, longer at the back. This one not so much. The feet, they're bigger on the original, not so much on the second wave. The backpack of the original is far more detailed. And in general, there's far more detail in the original casting. So I think they made the second one to look more like the cartoon, which doesn't have much detail because no one wants to draw all these little things, you know, back when they were doing real animations. CGI, it'll be in a CAD program, but someone actually literally had to draw that, so they don't want to draw all this stuff, right? So they kind of dumbed it down to look more like the cartoon. Okay, you'll notice the pointy thing here is much smaller, thinner than the original casting. So now we have the swords. I mean, the original one is just huge. And it's much smaller, obviously, on the next one. And the general front end, again, there's just so much more molded details. Like on the head even. There's almost none of that on the head of this guy. So I like that they did this because, you know, these two are not remotely the same, yet they're the same robot. You know, it's the same but not the same. So I like it. You know, I'm definitely going to keep both. I think it's really interesting. There's no other robot that looks like a medieval knight so much as the Gyan. So, okay, so there's that comparison. Let me close these things out and get a spin thing out. So, as Fandom was saying, the Gelgoog won out and is just a more versatile robot. So this is number 265 in Converge lineup. Shin Matsunaga's personal ride, and I like how they actually printed on a logo or something there. Okay, where's that Gouf with the whip thing? Alright, so there we go. So now I do have this Gouf from number 12, so that's really early in the Converge lineup, and you can see the hand is much bigger. Ah boy, we gotta do another comparison, hold on. Alright, so yeah, the hand is physically molded much bigger, more cartoony, I guess. Boy, this shield is so annoying. But the shield on this one is much bigger than that one, it seems. Right. The horn, oh, this is a mistake. I think this is 3D printed. This one I bought and the horn was missing, or it broke it off, or it got lost, so I just 3D printed my own. So that's not a fair comparison, the antenna or the horn. Okay, looking at the torso though, you can see the orange arrows in the middle are quite larger on the left side. And then again, it's less like molded crevices. This one is just chock full of crevices and lines. This one less so on the legs. So again, I think they kind of made a newer one to make it look more cartoony. This sword here, hold on, let me get the swords back. So this one has a metallic orange, this just has a yellow, and it's not as stylized, but it does have the open hole as well, so that's kind of neat. This antenna fell off again. Oh, so annoying, and that thing fell off. We'll just leave it off for now. Look at the arms. Again, this left one has more details and grooves and stuff like that. This one is more cartoon-like. Coming around to the back, same thing again. More cartoon, less going on. Just jam full of details, because being an early Converge, I think they're just trying to impress people with all the details they can get into such a small figure, which I appreciate. And then, yeah, it's nice that this is totally different, but it's supposed to be the same robot. So, okay. I guess we can put these back up there if I can get this thing back together. This thing's so annoying, this piece. Okay. Alright, let's get the spin thing going. And there's two more I'm going to show. This is number 54. Gouf Custom number 54. And now it has a closed fist. And it has 3 guns on his hand. Oh man, I can't focus. Hold on. It's hard to tell, but those are 3 guns, I guess. And then the shield itself has a Gatling gun and a drum mag feeding it. So, yeah, it's just, but this one has a lot of details. It's kind of a compromise between the other two. This one actually, or maybe this one is just back to the whole jam packet full of grooves and nooks and crannies. Anyways, I'll pop that up there. And then, yes, me being a moron, this Gouf Custom, before I bought this one, and it was missing the horn because they didn't realize it was supposed to have one in the first place. I don't know anything not much about Gundams, you know, I'm trying to learn. So again, I 3D printed this myself, and then it just glued it in, and I figured since I bought the original one here, I would take the first purchase, and I metallized it with a metal clear coat, and added a bunch of details. And I actually think I like this one the most, partially because I think the gold and the sky blue go well together. Yeah. So there's an interesting array of Goufs and a couple, just a few Gyans. Get one last angle here. Try more lower approach. Alright, well, these are very cartoony, if not plain looking Converge figures, even though this one is quite new. But, so you have choices. If you want to get something really detailed, mold-wise, you get the first Gyan, number 26. And the Goufs, there's a couple, you know, number 12, the hand looks very cartoony, but it does have a lot more panel lines and stuff like that. So, choices. Okay, thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next Converge vid.